Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT, and today we are doing our first experiment of Madden 18, and this is the king of all experiments. We're going to see today what Madden 18 thinks is going to happen in this upcoming NFL season. Gonna see who they believe will win the Super Bowl, who's gonna win the MVP, who wins Rookie of the Year, and that kind of stuff. And as a Titans fan, we better do good, because we're making the playoffs this year because we have Marcus Mariota and a bunch of other good players. But it's going to be cool to make this video now and come back at the end of the season and see how close Madden 18 actually was to predicting the season correctly at the end of the year and see how close they were. So with that said, guys, this is on Early Access, so if you haven't downloaded Early Access yet, be sure to do so you have 10 hours to play Madden 18 early before it gets released for the GOAT Edition on Tuesday. So if you're unfamiliar, they added in a new thing this year on Madden 18 Connected Franchise where you can pick up where the actual NFL season's at. So we can actually start this Connected Franchise in week 2 of the preseason, but we're just going to start in preseason week 1. And of course, we're going to be choosing my Tennessee Titans to see how we do personally. DeMarco Murray, a 94 overall. Let's go. A 91 overall offense. We've got to be good. So if you're wondering, these are the settings that are in Madden 18. If there's anything different, I know the game style, we're going to have it as simulation because it's the most realistic game style possible. We're going to keep all of this the same, except we'll keep injury on to make it realistic as possible. And if it does seem like I'm rushing in today's video, it's because I am. It's because in Early Access, we only have 10 hours to play the game early. So I'm trying to make as many videos as possible in the 10 hours that I have to play this game. So hopefully this simulation goes by quick. Man, this team looks so good. We better at least make the playoffs or I'm gonna be pissed. Now with that said, man, I guess all we're gonna do is sim. You know what? Let's sim to midseason and see how my Titans are doing. So, man, I will say that simulation went by a lot faster than normal. So maybe they fixed that, and my Titans are 5-2 on the year, looking pretty freaking good. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of the NFL, see how the standings are looking right now. And I mean, if we don't win the AFC South in real life and in this, I'm gonna be super surprised. But look at this, the Patriots and Falcons, the two teams that made the Super Bowl last year, they're on top. See, it'll be a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. The Bucs going 6-2, the Redskins having a good year. Some teams having half-decent years. The Cowboys at 4-3, that's interesting. And let's see what teams are doing bad. The Saints are 2-5, the Cardinals are 2-5, the Bears are 1-7, and the 49ers are 0-8. The Browns have double the wins than they had last year already in week 8, and the double the wins are actually, I guess, infinity of the wins compared to what the 49ers have. So that's crazy. So far the season's looking pretty decent, pretty realistic. So now we're gonna go ahead and sim to the playoffs, and this is where things actually get really interesting. So my Tennessee Titans made the playoffs at 12-4, which is insane because the CBS projections actually had the Titans going 12-4 on the year, which is crazy. I would be happy with a 10-6 season. I think 12-4 is a little bit of a stretch, but Madden and CBS have or I think it was USA Today, sorry. USA Today's projection had the Titans at 12-4, so they look like they're on the same page here. So the Chargers are having a huge season compared to last year, went 10-6. They also made the wild card. Now let's look at the rest of the NFL. I think we can go ahead and see who won the MVP and all that stuff as well. So go ahead and look at the standings. The Jaguars came in second place, which is kind of what I expect. We'll go through division by division, but the Steelers won the AFC North, went 12-4. The Browns, I mean, that's 4 times the wins they got last year, but they're still not doing good. They only got 2 wins in the second half of the year, so I guess they were at least consistent. The Ravens, 8-8. Bengals made the wild card, and Steelers won the division. AFC South, like you saw, like as a Titans fan, the only team I'm worried about, completely honest, is the Jaguars. I'm not, as a Titans fan, not too threatened by the Colts or Texans, but we'll have to see. Crazy things have happened. We can never beat the Colts even when they're bad, so hopefully that goes differently this year. Look at the AFC East, very down this year. The 26th, 28th, and 30th records in the NFL come from the AFC East. And crazy enough, the Patriots with the best record at 13-3. Dolphins 7-9, Bills 4-12. The Jets went 3-13. AFC West, the Chiefs win the division at 10-6. The Chargers make the wild card spot. I gotta remember they're in Los Angeles now. And the Broncos actually did make the playoffs at 8-8. And the Raiders, who I think is a Super Bowl dark horse, they're my dark horse to win the Super Bowl this year. They came in dead last. That's a little crazy. So Chargers fans or Raiders fans are probably a little bit triggered. NFC North, the Vikings won at 10-6. I wonder if Teddy Bridgewater came back or not. Lions 9-7. The Bears went 3-13. The Packers and Broncos not making the playoffs is pretty crazy. Now, the NFC South, the Panthers came back from a pretty disappointing season last year to win the division at 11-5. The Falcons tied them, but I guess they lost on a tiebreaker. What guy actually made the playoffs to a wild card? The Buccaneers fell off. They were 6-1, and then they lost the majority of the games at the end of the year. And Saints didn't have a bad year, but not good enough to not be last place in the NFC South. Two more divisions to look through. The Eagles went 10-6. The Giants went 10-6. The Eagles actually won the division. Redskins actually fell off as well. And the Cowboys. This is going to trigger some people. Madden 18 thinks the Cowboys is going to finish dead last in the NFC East. Going from having one of the best records, regular season records in the NFL, to coming dead last in their own division. No, it's not my fault. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just showing you. I'm scared to upload this video now. Now, in the NFC West, looked pretty average. The Seahawks barely scraped by over the Los Angeles Rams and won the division at 9-7. The Cardinals went 7-9. The 49ers looked like they had the worst record in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. And it was the 49ers. So, moving along, now we're going to have to see who won the MVP and all that kind of jazz. We had the 12th best offense in the NFL, which is pretty nice. And, of course, Tom Brady has to win the MVP. Colin Kaepernick on the Dallas Cowboys. So, Colin Kaepernick looks like he was actually maybe filling in for the injured Dak Prescott. So, maybe that's why the Cowboys had the season that they had. Aaron Rodgers came in 3rd. Russell Wilson in 4th. My boy Mariota came in 5th. And Blake Bortles is a surprise. He was always on the top 10 in Madden 17. Maybe that's another trend this year. But crazy, man. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen, honestly. Colin Kaepernick. With all the controversy surrounding him, I either think he should be signed by an NFL team or not signed by an NFL team. Madden 18 thinks he's going to be on the Cowboys and come in 2nd place in the MVP race, but that's on a 7-9 team, which is just insane. Coach of the Year goes to Griffin Murphy. That's actually Bill Belichick in nerd form. And Mike Mularkey, my Tennessee Titans head coach, came in 2nd. Now, moving along, let's see who won the Defensive Player of the Year. That goes to Ryan Shazier. And any standouts? Not really. James Harrison's still playing up there as an 89 overall. And let's see who won the Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC, and that goes to Craig Robertson, of all players. Aaron Donald came in 2nd, more a player you would think to win the Defensive Player of the Year. I don't see J.J. Watt anywhere. Now let's move on to the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Goes to Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings, which I could definitely see happening. Christian McCaffrey came in 2nd. And Perrine from, where's he from? Isn't he from Oklahoma? I could be wrong. Mitch Trubisky came in 4th place. Didn't have a great rookie year, it looks like. Gerald Everett, baby, let's go. Alumni of South Alabama coming in 7th place. That's my boy. That's what I'm talking about. Cooper Kupp. That's an interesting one. And now let's move on to the AFC Rookie of the Year. That's Leonard Fournette. That's not a surprise at all. This is a guy from Oklahoma, so I forget who the other guy, where he came from. My boy Corey Davis coming in 3rd place. A couple Texans. Deshaun Watson coming in 5th place. David Njoku's interesting. John Ross is interesting. Deshaun Kaiser's interesting as well. And Carlos Henderson. Not honestly sure who that is. And of course, the Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Myles Garrett. Tyus Browner. Jamal Adams. I kind of still wish he got picked by the Titans. Marlon Humphrey, former Alabama player. Jabril Peppers. So a lot of Browns rookies having good years. Now going over to the NFC. Looks like Takkarist McKinley. Isn't this the guy that had the grandma speech at the NFL draft? I think it was. Reuben Foster on the 2-14 49ers came in 3rd place. Any other standouts? Not really. That guy has a crazy looking last name. A crazy looking name in general. Akello? What type of name is that? Now let's see who had the best offense in the NFL. Of course, goes to the Patriots. The Browns had the worst offense in the NFL. Now the best defense goes to the Los Angeles Rams, led by Aaron Donald. And the Broncos had the worst defense in the NFL, which is kind of crazy actually, because the Broncos have a good defense. So Madden has some crazy stuff going on in this simulation. And last thing before we sim the playoffs, we're going to look at some of the stats across the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, 5,300 yards, 42 touchdowns, 14 picks. Tom Brady had an incredible year. Where's Colin Kaepernick? Look at 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Madden's telling the GMs out there that they should be signing this guy, because he looks like he's going to be a touchdown machine if he gets signed by a team and actually starts. And there's some of the other stats, anything that pops out. Eli Manning threw a lot of picks. That's not necessarily like unrealistic at all. Jared Goff threw 17. Carson Wentz had a bad year, but they still won the division, which is crazy. Who led the NFL in touchdowns? Had to be Aaron Rodgers, of course. Tom Brady had 39. Interceptions goes to Carson Wentz and these other guys. Now, rushing stats-wise, LaShawn McCoy led the NFL with 1,400 yards, followed up by Devonta Freeman. Todd Gurley, Zeke, Spencer Ware, Jordan Howard, Jonathan Stewart, Marshawn Lynch. This is an interesting one. Forgot about him. 1,100 yards, but they still came in last place in the division. Touchdown-wise was led by Dion Lewis, followed by West, and Adrian Peterson looked like he had a decent year with the Saints, although they don't run the ball that much. Now moving along to receiving, let's see, it looks like, yards-wise, Antonio Brown had an incredible year. 1,600 yards. Julio Jones, a little bit of a slip-off with only 4 touchdowns and 1,100 yards as well. Any real surprises? Devontae Adams possibly. AJ Green with a good year. And kind of your normal players up here for the most part. Corey Davis had 1,000 yards for the Titans. Receiving touchdown-wise goes to Antonio Brown, Randall Cobb, AJ Green, Tyrell Williams, and Jordan Reed with 11. Moving on to defense. Let's see who led the NFL in tackles. 160 tackles. No wonder he was up there for the Defensive Player of the Year. Didn't he win the Defensive Player of the Year? That's crazy. Sacks goes to Aaron Donald, followed by Melvin Ingram. 26 sacks is insane. Looks like J.J. Watt might have not played the whole year. Interceptions goes to Derek Johnson with 7, and this guy too. Craig Robertson, watch out for him because Madden thinks he's going to be an absolute beast. So with that said, guys, I think we've gone over absolutely everything. Last but not least, it is time to see who wins the Super Bowl. We're going to advance week by week, see how my Titans can do. And we did beat the Chargers, and we have a player injured. Hopefully it's not Mariota, because that would be trash. And it's Matt Castle's hurt, Jonathan Cyprian's hurt, and Victor Ochi's hurt. But we're taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who obviously won their game. Now let's go see the matchups for the playoffs, see who's still in the playoffs from both sides. The regular or the wild card round, we barely won. The Giants beat the Vikings. The Kansas City Chiefs made the Bengals look like a team of 5th graders, 48-3. And the Seattle Seahawks beat the Atlanta Falcons 30-24. So no Falcons in the Super Bowl for the 2nd straight year, as you see the matchups here. Interesting matchup. See if the Chiefs can actually beat the Patriots after winning by about 58 points the first week. I don't think we can beat the Steelers, but let's see. Can we make it one step closer to the Super Bowl? And we do. Kansas City did beat the Patriots. So it's Kansas City versus the Titans. And if we actually win the Super Bowl, as I use them as a fan, I'm gonna be happy. And this video is gonna be incredible. But I'm scared though, because the Chiefs are on an absolute tear right now. If they won that game in the wild card round, then beat the Patriots, they scored 52 points on the Patriots, dog. Oh my God. We're not going to beat the Chiefs. There's no way. They are on a mission to be the greatest team of all time. The Giants beat the Panthers, so they're going to the NFC Championship game, going up against the Seahawks, who's another team having a great run in the playoffs. So, let's see. If we beat the Chiefs, I'm going to be surprised. As a Titans fan, I would be happy with an AFC Championship game appearance after not making the playoffs since 2008. But if we make it to the Super Bowl, I'll be one happy man. Are we going to do it? I think we did. We did. We're going to advance to the Super Bowl against the New York Giants, who beat the Seattle Seahawks. So Madden 18 thinks the NFC champions is going to be the New York Giants, and the AFC champions are going to be the Tennessee Titans. I honestly didn't expect the Titans to make the Super Bowl in this video, but I'm excited. That will be a crazy Super Bowl matchup. Let's see how the championship games went. It said Mariota threw 4 touchdowns. And how? Okay, we have got, look at these 2 scores. That has to be the 2 biggest blowouts in conference championship game history, especially in the same week. That's his point differential if you take both games combined by like almost 100. 45-7 and 52-7. So the Tennessee Titans took out the Kansas City Chiefs, who were hot as could be. And then the Giants absolutely obliterate the Seahawks, who are also as hot as could be. So 2 teams that are on a mission right now, and the Titans and the Giants. So who is going to be the Super Bowl champion? The Titans or the Giants? I'm not going to look. I'm not looking, fellas. And we're going to scroll over to the far right. I'm going to black the screen so you guys cannot see it. We're going to check the schedule. Are the Tennessee Titans Super Bowl champions for the 2017-2018 NFL season? And that was anticlimactic. We lost. God dang it. The Giants are Super Bowl champions. I wouldn't have cared if it wasn't against my Titans. always bring us up to let us right back down.